Happy Tuesday. What's happening, Shredder Nation? Jesse James Jamnik here with another episode number 26 of Shred Your Body. And tonight we're starting obviously a little bit late. We're starting a half hour late. My apologies. Work ran late, but hey, life happens, shit happens, and here we are. I'm super excited about this call tonight. I'm excited every single week about these calls, but the more that I get to find athletic individuals, people that have been involved in the fitness and health industry for many years, like myself, I'm really excited to find those people that have just absolutely crushed the ER shred. And tonight's story is really all about that, but it comes with a little bit of a twist because this particular individual actually tried it, didn't like it, came back, dipped his toes, then decided in January to go all in, and his results are absolutely mind-blowing. If this is your first time, welcome. Please do me a favor, drop into the comments. Let us know where it is you're coming in from. Say hello. Make sure that you gave StreamYard access so we can see you. Lenny, April, Heather, I see you. What's happening? But with no further ado, let's get this thing going. Every single week, we bring in another awesome story of someone part of our Shredder Nation, Shredder community, whatever flows better with you. And tonight, I'm really excited to bring in my guest, Mr. Adam Holzworth. Boom, there he is. What's up, Adam? Welcome to Shred Your Body, brother. I appreciate you being here.
Sure, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no doubt. So listen, I'm really excited. We got to chat just for like literally a minute and a half before we had to go live. And you and I have never talked before, so this is going to be really cool. I love Adam. I love this community. Obviously, I pour everything that I possibly have into it now because of the fact of how it's drastically changing lives. And I'm super excited to talk to you because you, like me, have been in the fitness and health industry for, I've been doing it for 20 years. You told me you've been a personal trainer for 17 years. Is that right?
Yep.
17 years, and now you're starting a new journey in life, right? Where you're going to start. Is it next Tuesday? Where you're going to start? Is it mindful meditation? Is that what it is?
Yeah, next Monday in a little cool place here in Oklahoma City.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So that's pretty cool. So is this on top of the personal training? Is this just another piece of the holistic puzzle, if you will? Because I think meditation plays such an amazing part in overall quality of health.
Yeah, I just love meditation, and over the COVID spell, I just needed something to do because there were no gyms open. Yeah. So I just found a course online that was quite reputable and paid the crazy fee, and now I'm certified. And I just happened to another thing in town, and this woman that is now ER shredder, she's finishing up her 2 days cleanse this week.
That's awesome.
She asked and said, "Does anyone teach meditation?" And I was like,
me?
I was like, not really, but kinda. And she was like, "Cool, let's have an interview." And it went well. And she's now in the Shredder Nation, and I have a job.
That's awesome, dude. I want to say something to you. I've one of the things too, and as men and stuff, we don't get to hear this enough, but I want to actually acknowledge what you just said, because in this past year, Adam, I have watched people crumble. I have watched people just go spiral out of backwards. And granted, some of these things were out of our control. I mean, we didn't ask for this crazy pandemic. We didn't ask for sickness. We didn't ask for loved ones to get hit. But brother, instead of sitting on your ass and just, oh, worries me and playing the victim, you actually did something about it. And that right there, I can already tell that you and I can be friends, because that's just the type of mentality that I had to do too. Like, I grew up with like I learned from the street. Like, I learned to hustle and grind and mess up and royally screw up, but just never quit. And that mentality that you just shared is something that I hope somebody can grab from you and maybe take that little piece and just whatever it is that maybe clicks with them. But I wanted to acknowledge you on that real quick before we start diving into what we're going to dive into.
Well, much appreciated, brother.
Yeah, man.
It comes from having hard-ass parents that cared.
That's awesome. That's awesome. The ones that you hated when you were little and now you understand more, right? Well, listen, dude, I don't know you very well. I mean, obviously I've seen your results in the community and I've seen what's going on. You know, do me a favor and share, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't know you, but first off, where are you originally from? And kind of tell me about childhood a little bit. Were you always athletic? What was it like growing up? You just said you had hard-ass parents. So kind of give us like this little base of, you know, who Adam is and kind of where Adam came from, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me again. This should be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I also like to cuss, so but let's just cuss away. I love it.
This is my show, so you're good to go.
I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I am 44 years old, which is quite crazy. I can't believe I made it this far. I guess I had athletic parents. My mom was a runner. My dad was one of those dudes back in the day wearing leotards and teaching aerobics.
Okay.
So
okay.
I was just always bitching about eating fish and chicken growing up, and now that's what I eat, fish and chicken all the time. You know, it's just one of those things. So yeah. I did play sports. I got a scholarship to go play tennis in Kansas at a small NAI school. And then I came back to Oklahoma, finished college, got a degree in health and human performance. So that's kind of where that has led things. I tried not to use it after graduation because I felt like I was going to use it at some point. So I just did a bunch of other random jobs. And in the meantime, had a horrible car wreck, broke my pelvis, had a few other weird things go on, had to learn how to walk again. Wow. And this is kind of where my weird journey with health, because I was just tired of feeling horrible after that car wreck. It was also a weird journey of like trying to find out like why I was still on Earth and all those crazy things too. So I don't know, just life was like a weird, I was stumbling, mumbling around from 24 to 30 something. And then someone introduced me to this crazy dude named Lenny Evans.
Okay.
I went to this retreat called Follow Your Bliss, and then my life went like haywire, and I wasn't privy to meditating, and I wasn't privy to spiritualness or any of these things, and I just did a 180 just because I just decided, hey, maybe this is what I'm here for. So it just took me on a weird wild turn of just finding out what I really wanted to do in life, and so I've just been a personal trainer. I love helping people. Just what I do. I just think I also am into networking. So it's like, I just love to get people to where they need to go and not in the shortest terms. So when the CR shred thing came around, I was like, oh man, there's no way that I'm going to try that. It's too much meat and too much all that stuff. And then I was like, oh man, this can work for so many people, and it does it in a short amount of time, which I am a fan of. So here we are.
Wow, dude, that's thank you.
Yep.
That's a lot of information. So listen, I'm curious because you brought up a lot of things that kind of sound like a path. You know, you brought up, so first off, mom and dad. Mom was a runner. Dad was the guy teaching aerobics. For you, you brought up that, but then you also said that there was a time in life that you were trying to find out why you were even on Earth. What was there something that happened? And the reason I'm asking you this is this. I grew up as the fat kid. I was the kid that was always made fun of. I wasn't grotesquely obese, but I was definitely that kid that felt like I didn't belong. And I felt like I didn't belong for many, 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 many years. And over those years, it led to really just down spiral. And I always put on a happy face and I always pretended and I still did life. However, there was a lot of times that I just wanted to be done because I didn't really understand what it was. Like I was always made fun of. I felt like I didn't belong anywhere. I felt like I didn't have those connections and those friends. I watched those, you know, the cliques and the groups and the bros. And even though I played sports, I played hockey, I played baseball. I tried to be active. You know what I mean? I did all of that stuff. Was there anything in there for you like that? That like, where's that missing piece? Or do you feel comfortable talking about that first off? If you do, you know, sharing that piece a little bit, because I want to show people how just because you feel one way in life doesn't mean that life can't drastically change for the better from where you're at today because of one retreat. And man, if Lenny got a hold of you, I know exactly why your life freaking changed. So I'm right there with you on that
one. If I can remember what you just said and put it into an answer.
First off, what was it from childhood that, I mean, did you have a lot of friends? I mean, you said the parents were really strict when it came to, was it food and discipline, or what kind of started that thing with you of what led you to where you believed that you didn't belong here on earth and you were trying to find that spot?
Mine was just from that car wreck where my life had zero problems growing up. Like nothing. I had no worries in the world. And then all of a sudden I get thrown out of my car and
how old were you when this happened?
24. And I think
24. Okay. So no worries, no issues, nothing like that. That some people have that trauma, but for you, it was this physical active trauma of this car wreck that really kind of took it from there. So you get in this car wreck, you break your pelvis, and kind of talk to us about that. What was that situation like?
This is where I can agree with you that this is where I become depressed because I don't know if I'm going to walk again. I don't know where life is headed. I mean, it's like it was awesome that I had insurance at that point in my life, or I would have probably been in real big trouble. But because I was trying to be a golf pro at that time.
Okay.
Just another crazy job I had in the world. But that's where things totally rearranged and where I had never been depressed before. I didn't even know what that was. So it just took a weird turn of like, that's where the question came from. Like, why am I here? And what am I supposed to be doing? Like, cause I was a lost soul, like just lost. And I didn't know how to fix it either. And I didn't know where to go. And I also, you know, in this fun journey I've taken since then, a lot of people just said I wasn't ready, but man, I laid in bed for a long time ready for something. So I just came out, and it's kind of now where people say I'm a little on the crazy side because I just live life like it is going to end tomorrow. That's kind of where things have changed. Like I'm just 100% get up and do what you want to do and live life to the fullest. And if you can help people in the meantime, it's a fucking bonus.
Absolutely. Dude, I can, you know, even though our paths were different in how we got there, I can really relate to that. You know what I mean? Like people would tell, my guidance counselor told me I would never amount to shit in life. My guidance counselor. You know what I mean? Like the person that's supposed to like guide you, you know what I mean? Because I wanted to, you know, I didn't want to go to college. Like I knew that it wasn't for me at that time, and you know what I mean? It wasn't there. And then it was, you know, people telling you that you're worthless and what are you going to do with your life? And you actually start to believe this stuff. Like if you don't have the right role model in that thing, for me, you know, personally, that's kind of where it all, you know, led to. And, you know, life got kind of crazy. Like I went away when I was 18, parents got divorced, and, you know, there was just like crazy issues that kind of led to all that. But who was it for you that was saying, like, they were saying you weren't ready for what? Like to get into what you're doing today? Or what do you mean by that when people told you that you weren't ready? What does that mean?
Oh, I wasn't ready to hear the message.
Oh, okay.
Of how to fix life. That's what I was saying.
I got you. So you were just kind of more stuck in this, you know, I'm trying to explain it because you go through life and you start to do these things every day. And for you, maybe it was just these jobs, and you were you told me you lived life on the edge, right? And you know what I mean? Like you did these jobs, and then is it because of what you did growing up until 24, like the people that were close to you that maybe saw like, oh, you weren't serious about the career and you weren't serious about going after this, and now you get to hear and you weren't ready for that message? Or I'm trying to figure out where would that come from? Is this coming from loved ones that told you this, or friends, or where did that message come from?
Yeah, just people that care. I mean, I have an awesome support group, so that has never been a problem either. My parents made me so independent. Like after that car wreck, I just moved out to North Carolina knowing one person, and he moved in the first 3 months I was there, and then I just kicked it in Charlotte, living like I was never going to die because I just lived this crazy car wreck. So I was living life to the fullest. And
what does that mean? What does that mean, living life to the fullest?
Like,
what were you doing?
Should I say on this call?
Say it.
Dude, I was partying every hour, every minute of the day that I wasn't working a job. But I had 3 jobs at the time. So
okay.
I just laid down for so long and did rehab and did all these things. I was just living. I was like, oh man, I have things to catch up on and do. And then I just ran into some awesome people, made a large group of friends from the state of New York, and just rocked and rolled for a good serious month.
So you're talking about drinking, you're talking about drugs, you're talking about playing in that ball game. Okay. I spent many years doing lots of ecstasy that I don't even remember those years. I spent many years, trying things. I never went, even though ecstasy's crazy, I call hardcore like shooting and stuff. Like I never took it to that level, but bro, listen, I had many times in the trance state of, techno music and Vicks Vapor Rub that I spent those years. That's pretty much the only thing that I remember out of those years. And just for the record, I would always want you to be open and transparent. I appreciate if you do that, because one of the coolest things that I love about our community, Adam, is that we can be who we are. We can be real. And what I've come to realize, and what I've watched so many people now come to realize, is that we are freaking awesome just the way that we are. There's nothing wrong with us. We weren't broken. It just wasn't our time. It took me 40 years, 38 years of life to really understand what my passion was. And I've been very successful over that time. I've done a lot of jobs like you. Like I've had a lot of them, and I've moved a lot all over the freaking place. But I think it's perfectly okay, because there's nothing wrong with that. I look at everything. I look at my first half of life as honestly just complete fuck ups, to be quite honest with you. I mean, just stuff that I'm like super embarrassed about, stuff I never really want to talk about. But I understand that in order for me to be powerful and serve other people today, I have to own that. And I never owned that before. You know what I mean? So for you, I know you've done a lot of work on this. I just say own it, brother. You know what I mean? Because you're an amazing. I mean, you should see the comments from Lenny, from other people that have known you. Somebody posted up, I just love Adam. I mean, dude, you are obviously making an impact in people's lives. But do you think you'd be able to do that today without going through everything that you went through to get to where you're at today?
No, I would never take it back. Never.
And that is what makes you freaking awesome. That is what makes you awesome. That's powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah. I don't think that there's a way for you to connect to people if you're a professional at this. I watch it all the time in this group. I mean, there's no way you could affect people without you being affected. I just had this talk the other day with someone. If you could get this far without all these things happening, and my answer was, I hope that people can get this far without having a oh shit, coming to Jesus moment. I mean, I don't know if it's possible, but I really hope that it is, because I don't think you need to get thrown out of your car or be a fat kid for your life to have a meaning or something. I feel like there should be another way. I haven't seen it yet, but it would be awesome. I think it sounds awesome.
Yeah. I've met a handful, Adam. I've met a handful of people that maybe they're portraying it that way, but I think I'm with you. I don't know why as human beings majority of us, I can't speak for everybody, but I've watched a lot of it through coaching over the years. I don't understand why so many of us need to get to rock bottom and find Jesus, as you called it, to understand that life is so much better than what we were doing, that we deserve so much more than what we were taking, that we were put here to be epically awesome, whatever that may be, whatever that craft may be, or that superpower may be. Like for me, I think I was born to do what I'm doing today, to change people's lives, to talk truth into people, to share my experiences and my screw ups and my mess ups and not be ashamed of them, but be proud of them, not because of what I did, but because of how I never quit. Because I'm still here today when some people gave up, and people are giving up all the time. You know what I mean? But I do understand, what that is that you're talking about. So take me back to your accident. You're laying in bed. You go through this depression. Doctors are they telling you that you're not going to walk again, or what was that situation that kind of put you in that big funk in the first place? And we won't spend a ton of time here. We'll shift from this real quick. But what was it that kind of got you to even getting to the place of going to this retreat? What made you go so deep?
Yeah, I think it was for a week or two. I didn't know if I was going to walk again. And then I had to go then I got transferred to another state to go see a specialist so I can be, as humanly normal looking as possible, which is so awesome. This one doctor said, "You're so effed up, I'm not going to touch you. I'm going to send you off to this other place." So I had to thank that doctor 1,000 times for not having the doctor complex and chopping me up, whatever he was going to do. But that retreat I went to say that I got there in some way, it's just what I needed at the time. And there was a book in there called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, and I will say that's what really changed my whole life. That book was like, I didn't even know what it was talking about. That's why I had to go to the damn retreat. And it just changed my whole outlook. And and that's when I dove in 100% to like, oh man, I think that retreat also taught me this fun thing about how I was just letting life dictate what was going on around me instead of me putting my fucking foot down and doing my own thing. So, that's what I have to thank all those people for at that retreat, for just getting my fucking ass in gear, pretty much.
Yeah. What was it in that book that changed your life? Because I read that book. I want to go back. I read it a long time ago. And I want to go back and read it now. What was it for you in that book that clicked? Because for me, I can pinpoint a couple key books and stuff. One of them was Think and Grow Rich, obviously. There's another one by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then I got into his cash flow quadrant, understanding the right side and the left side of money. And I was like, well, what the hell? Like, why would I want to do this my entire life when I can build this and live life epically? But I had to go through those stages. You know what I mean? Like, what was it for you in that book that just kind of woke you up and made you put two and two together?
Well, I think I just said it. It was that I could go and design life on my own terms.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. That's what it was. Pure and simple. And then I was like, oh man, I have all this power that no one ever told me about, because I was only taught that there was some bearded lady in the sky going to save you, when you die. And I was like, oh God, that's not good. So, that turned my whole thing around. I was like, oh, and then people thought I was crazy for a while. I was telling anybody and everybody that wanted to listen. And but it's also brought me this business of isogenics, has just brought me into this whole nother family of like just my people. It's so rad. It's what I love. This community of ER Shred is just another offshoot of what this thing is really all about.
Yeah. Now you've been part of our supplier company, Isogenics, for 13 years, right? You've been using these products for 13 years. So you've met Lenny literally towards the beginning.
I met him in like 2008, I think.
Okay, so Isogenics started in 2002, and I know Lenny was pretty much like on board from almost from the get go. So that's a long time. So I mean, you've seen a lot of different things, and you've been a personal trainer for 17 years. So I can only imagine being in this industry myself, the amounts of different things that you must have tried, the supplements you've tried, the programs you've tried. No, nothing.
No,
You've not done any of those?
no, I'm getting like I can taste the stuff you're talking about in my mouth. While you're all the gross stuff I've tasted over the years. That's why my
Yeah.
head's like this. Yeah. Oh.
That's funny. So you've never dove in, like you didn't do like the high carb, the low carb, the protein, the macro counting, you never dove into any of that?
No, I've tried everything, my friends. I had to, because everyone brought it to the table at the gym. That was like, hey, I'm going to try this, or I'm going to try this. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I even tried being a vegan for a little while. I mean, I gave it a good three-month run just to see what was up. I didn't like it, but
yeah.
Been there, done that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I got confused. I thought you were going to literally try to tell me that you went 17 years in this industry and haven't tried any of that stuff. And I was like, I'm going to fly to you right now because I need to understand what your secret is. Because I mean, I put that shit in my body that had skull and crossbones on it, pre-workouts that made me feel like I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm shaking when I'm doing this bench press right now. And I think I'm going to have a heart attack. And, the diets that like I tried vegan, I've tried keto, I've tried all these different macro counting, blending raw eggs. Like, I mean, I've been there and I've done it over the course of 20 years because you have to, right? Like you're in this industry, you have to get involved in it. And then for me, I took it, I started off in bodybuilding and then went to obstacle course racing, and now I do ultra marathon running. So from an athletic standpoint, I was like, somebody was like, oh, this can give you a 2% increase. I'm like, game on. This can give you a 2%, game on. The one thing I've never, well, I can't say that I've never done. I did one very, very small cycle way, way back when I was 18 years old. And it was such a short stint. And I was like, nope, this shit's not for me. And I never did that again in my entire life, but it was all natural, but it was definitely a lot of different stuff, trial and tribulation, a lot of roundabouts, a lot of wrong turns, a lot of what the hell am I doing? Every bro magazine that came out, right? Every bro science magazine that came out, I was on the next thing. I mean, it was just insane. It was insane the amount of shit that I put in my body trying to be the healthiest person that I could possibly be. That's the ironic part when I think back about it now is I'm like, oh my God.
I just told someone, I wish I could have all the money back I spent on beer in college, but you just made me realize I wish I could have all the money back I spent on shit-ass supplements.
Oh, bro, I know. The day that I actually understood what happened in the back and in the labs and how stuff was done and how science was stolen and put on labels and it was all legal, like I literally almost had a freaking mental breakdown because I was so mad. I was so mad because not only did I do it for myself, but throughout the years, I had pitched this to people. I sold supplements out of my trunk. You know what I mean? Like, but I got to chalk it up to, I guess you only know what you know at that time. And it's not like I wasn't doing it myself, so I really don't feel all that bad. You know what I mean? That I kind of like shoved these down people's throats for so many years because I was taking them myself and I was like, you got to do this, And the cool part was that, well, the scary part was, Adam, is that over the course of time, I was able to physically transform my body. I think you can physically transform your body being a vegan. You can physically transform it being, keto. You can visit, whatever way there's out there. If you're really psycho about it and you go at it, you can transform and get your body to look a certain way. But that doesn't mean that I was healthy on the inside. You know what I mean? Like I was struggling every day. 190 pounds, 10% body fat. People would be like, what are you doing? I don't understand. You're so shredded. You're this, you're that, whatever. And I'm sitting here. I'm like, take this pre-workout, take this protein shake, take this, whatever. And little did I realize that I was like, shit, I got to drink 7 cups of coffee a day just to stay awake. And my recovery sucked. And I didn't have regular bowel movements. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, despite eating all the healthy stuff that you could possibly eat, it was just really, really mind blowing. So 13 years, brother, you spent and doing isogenics now and working in this and a lot of self-development, I'm sure. meditation. Talk to us about this self-development thing. And once you decided to go all in, what is the biggest thing that you can say that you've realized now that you kind of wish you might have known before about your power? For those, and I'm asking you this because there's a lot of people that get stuck in this, Adam. There's a lot of people that don't feel self-worth. There's a lot of people that don't know why they're here. They don't love themselves. They can't be happy with the person looking back in the mirror. What can you tell those people from the Adam now compared to what you were from all the stuff that you've learned now?
Well, I will start with, you said two words that was the whole thing that started my whole journey, which was self-love. I wasn't taught that at my house, nor did I think it was important, I guess, when I heard it for a while. And that's where the journey really just takes off. Like, I really had to do that work. And I mean, to answer your question about what should people do, like, that is not fun at all. Like, it wasn't fun for me. I don't know if looking in the mirror now is totally a fun thing, but I've just I've worked on that. So yeah. But I will say, from the Adam from before, I don't know. I didn't have a care in the world of some sort. And then when I found all this fun stuff, which is weird that it happens through a network marketing company a little bit. But it was just a solid thing for me to hold on to, for one thing. And it also worked. Like, I think if you put in the work, something comes out of it. No different than you and I working out, or, whatever it is that you do in life. It's like, it's weird when you can put, I don't know how to put this. It's not weird. It is a epic feeling when you put your effort into something, even if it is to changing yourself, and it works. Like, and I can say, in this work of self-development and stuff, like, that could be something serious, and then I could take it as far as, like, just making a vision board and something crazy. Like, I have one in my room that has the car that I drive on it, because they were like, yeah, well, put on stuff that you want. And then, they're like, well, be really specific, this isn't, and I don't care about cars. So I just cut out a car, put it on the vision board. 6-8 months later, I don't remember how long, that same car is in my driveway. I mean, it's so strange. I mean, like, those things where it's like, well, now I have to believe it, like, these things are working, so I would just tell everyone, I mean, it just took me a long time to believe in myself. And I think once that happened, that was the change. I mean, it was another strange thing, Jesse, in my personal training world for that, that was from, I think I started this journey in 2015. So for the past 6 years. But it was weird for me to be that person who wasn't in love with myself, but had no problem professing to everyone else how they should change themselves. I didn't look at it as a bad thing. I just looked at it as, like, maybe I'm being a fraud, or, something to that effect. And I was just like, so when I found this and I came to, oh yeah, I am worth this, and here, it just changed everything. Like, finding your self-worth, I think, is something, I don't know, everyone should have a class in at some point, before you graduate high school. Like, because I don't think none of this stuff is taught for people to better themselves. At least I didn't get any.
Yeah, dude, oh my God. That's just, like, I have goosebumps on me because I literally walked that path. I was the guy who didn't love myself, but would always be there to motivate others and tell everybody how great they were, and felt like, but I did that because I always felt like I had to fit in, Adam. This from my childhood, where I brought this for me. So feeling like a fraud, there's stories I made up. I mean, it got bad. It got really, really freaking bad for me. And it all blew up, you know what I mean? And, Lenny put up a great thing. He said, the universe matches the love that we have for ourselves. Love a little, receive a little. Love a lot, receive a lot. it's so simple. It's just like the ER shred. It's so simple, but those results of doing that are so profound. I mean, you literally just talked about how it epically changed your life by putting up a picture of a car on a vision board. People woohoo that. I used to woohoo that and be like, you people are fucking nuts. Like, you're going to just cut out pictures out of a magazine and you're going to post them on a wall, and that's supposed to direct your life. Like, I couldn't grasp the concept. I didn't understand it. Even after listening to The Biggest Secret and all this other kind of stuff, like, I didn't get it. And I think one of the beautiful things that you just said is that people have to sit in their moment and realize that whatever is coming their way, good things take time. Good things take time. You know what I mean? And I shared with you that it wasn't until a few years ago, that I realized, and then it wasn't until fully the ER shred, to be fully honest with you, that really filled that missing piece in me. That just was like, my family's great, my fiance's great, the baby's on the way, that's great, my sister's great, my daughter's amazing, like all that stuff is great, right? But it wasn't until that it filled it, and it was because I really just appreciated and loved myself finally, and understood, because of the years and hours of work, the hard work, the crying, the being honest, the admitting the faults, the stuff that's really shitty. Like, you don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not proud of telling you some of the stuff that I did in my past, but I think that's part of loving yourself. And if somebody can grasp that, is that work on that, right? And be patient with yourself. Just don't give up. I mean, you showed up and you showed up and you showed up and you showed up so many times that you finally showed up and it clicked. And it sounds so simple, but it can be.
Yeah, and I think also if with another, I don't know, when you were talking, something did click, and it was, if you will just be open to something can be different. And when you talked about, I think it was when you said, when I decided to love myself, and I was like, oh yeah, when you open your heart, the floodgates will open to things that you are looking for, or people that are looking for you, or whatever the case may be. I don't know how to explain that part. Like, these are all these weird books I have on the shelf that do that stuff. But it's just so cool when that part happens.
Yeah. You know what I think it might be, Adam? I think it's because I know for me, I got taught that too much money was greedy, and I'm getting to a point with this. I got taught that, if you don't care about other people, you're not good. You know what I mean? Like, all of these propaganda messages, right? And it trains your mind, and it literally starts in school. I'm 100% with you. I personally think our school system is flawed. I don't think we teach the right things. Is there some stuff that we can learn in history and all that kind of stuff? Absolutely. The math that my daughter does in school today, I can't even fucking do. So that doesn't make any sense to me, right? I don't even use some of the stuff that I used back then. I don't think there's ever a thing. But if somebody taught me about credit scores, if somebody taught me about how to actually save money, if somebody taught me about compounding interest, if somebody taught me about self-love, if somebody taught me about, it's okay to cry as a man, if somebody taught me about it's okay to talk about my feelings with my guy friends like girls do all the time, instead of being called I can't say that word, even though I swear it's a bad word for women. But you know what I mean? Like, if I got taught that stuff, if we got taught that stuff as a world, as a human culture, can you just imagine the epic difference that our world would be today if we actually taught the valuable stuff that, unfortunately, we have to go through all of this stuff to get to and self-realize. But if we got taught that instead, can you imagine, bro, what it would be like?
Dude, you got me motivated to teach meditation, my friend. God damn.
Yes.
Yeah, because nobody this is the other reason I chose this form of meditation. Are you familiar with mindful meditation?
I'm not. Can you explain it for everybody real quick?
I mean, it is just from the, first it is meditation with your eyes open.
Okay.
So this is why I chose the course, because
I like this already.
Yeah, it is. The reason for the meditation is for, as you know, as in today, life just kind of throws you a curveball, and you're just dealing with it. And I think this mindful meditation is a way for you to stay present in this present moment and just deal with things that come at you. And it just has a cool way of you staying in the present moment and learning how to deal with things, that you just take what you learn from your meditation and go out into the world to not let things affect you so much. And it's just a cool in meditation that doesn't take very long. And it's, the rules are simple. It's just not an easy thing to do, because, I was just taught to do meditation with your eyes closed forever.
Yep.
And a little bit that I was taught, it was just about, you're escaping, you're leaving, instead of being present with your eyes open. And this meditation for me was kind of like this ER shred. I just did not like it. It took a while, but once you figure it out and get the hang of it, it brings this whole fun. You just have a whole new base to your meditation practices through all the other ones. I just feel like this is a base that will, even if you haven't done meditation, this is just a great place to start, because I feel like when you close your eyes, you can disappear and go anywhere. That's not a problem. Yeah.
I like that. I want to learn more about this. And for you, I mean, I don't know what your days are like and what your schedule is like or whatever, but if you ever feel, motivated to hop in the group and do a live, and even just take somebody through a mindful meditation, like the group, if we can add that service and value, I don't want to put you on the spot and you don't have to say yes, but if you ever feel like you want to do it, like by all means, you are so welcome. Everybody's welcome to bring their talents and their values to the group, because the more that we can collectively combine them all, I think it's just going to get better and better and better and better. But that's something that I definitely would love to dive into myself, because I think it's really important. I've tried, I've done the 1 minute meditations. I use the app, what's it called? Headspace. That was done, that was put together by a monk. I love Jay Shetty. I've been really studying him and his book, and I don't know if you're into Jay Shetty at all, but I love that guy. I love that guy. But that's awesome. So that's freaking cool. So let's do this, Adam. Let's transition now. First off, thank you for sharing all of that stuff. It's been really cool getting to know you and kind of life and where you came from, and things that have happened. I think it helps me understand. It just helps me understand people better. You know what I mean? Like really just kind of getting to know, like, from that past, instead of just like, hey, what do you do? And, I feel like that's just such boring conversation, and our world is so full of just boring ass conversation that has absolutely no depth to it whatsoever. It drives me crazy. So I appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing that. So let's get into the ER shred. You've been using isogenics for a very long time. You've had access to the shakes, the cleanse, the broth, and I mean, you've had access to it all. You've been doing it. So we launched the ER Shred in October. You first heard about the ER Shred in November. And don't hold back. Tell me exactly what your thoughts were. And I'm sure Lenny brought the ER Shred to you. Is that correct, or am I wrong?
Lenny the vegetarian and Casey the vegetarian brought ER Shred to my phone.
Isn't that crazy? Dude, Casey's story, I love Casey, and Lenny is crazy too. But Lenny the vegetarian and Casey the vegetarian brought to you a meat-based carnivore style ER Shred, right? And what was your thoughts?
They probably brought it to me in October, maybe at the end of October, because I watched them do it, and then I couldn't believe their results. And then I said, put me in the group. And I watched the group for probably another week. And then there were so many people talking about being pain-free. And obviously getting out of your car, you get some aches and pains, that's just what you get to live with a little bit. But I was like, no way. So I was like, okay, well, this is just like everything else. I'm going to put it to the damn test. And everyone's like, oh man, day 5, fuck yes, this is the best. And I was like, this thing can suck up, there's no way. Like, I felt like shit. But I also don't drink black coffee, and I was following the rules. So there was no caffeine in my life, which was a little weird for those 11 days. And I think that was probably the problem. But so I finished the 11 days and had, I don't know, some crazy results where I was like, oh, that's great. But I did not get this. My body did not switch. Like it didn't. And then I just went straight to Thanksgiving and partied hardy and had a good time. And then when the December group came back around, I did it again. And then I just continued to do that because it took me 21 days to get fat adaptive, like 21. I don't know if I was seriously carb dependent and I was lying to myself. I'm not sure what was going on, but I felt amazing on day 21, not day 5. Yeah. And then I went and partied hardy again for Christmas and New Year's and had a great time. And then I was just like, okay, I'm going to put this damn thing to the test all the way till my birthday. And then I just lived it. I mean, lived it meaning, this is why I wanted to have this talk with you. I need people. I see so many people in this group freaking out about these small, minute, weird ass things that they're, and I'm just like, no, just live your life. Like there was a lady today that posted about, she made her own bone broth and she goes, I don't give a hell if this is on the shred or not. She goes, I did a damn good job. And I was like, awesome, good for you. You know, like do your own damn thing, people. Do your own damn thing. Figure it out. Find out what you love. Do the 11 days and get your baseline and then figure it out. Figure it out. It's not that hard. And this is what I want to say. Like, I, being in the personal training world, also have a weird comparison problem. I'm sure that you do too. And then, you know, and when I saw Sean, who I haven't met or talked to, I was like, holy cow. Like, I'm definitely putting this thing to the test. But in my life, I know that you said you had retired from EDM and partying, and I am still full throttle EDM and partying. And life just happens, man. And I just like, and sometimes I've paid the price in this clean stomach world. Like I've just gone out and went a little too far, and the next day I have to sit on the toilet a little bit, maybe TMI. But I just love how the body can change. Anyone can do this. I love the crazy vegans in the group that are thinking they can do it. Totally rad. But yeah, I think this thing is so cool and I love every bit of it. And I think I'm just like I told you before we started, I'm going to keep living this thing because I feel too good. Yeah,
I think that's the ultimate thing is people always say to me, they're like, I don't, you know, because I don't really drink anymore. You know what I mean? Like, and don't get me wrong. Like, I just had, 2 beers at a friend's house on Mother's Day because we went over and we, kind of hung out a little bit. Like, I'm not scared to do it. You know what I mean? I think people get this wrong, this wrong mindset. And I think that's because of all the magazines and the bullshit. And I mean, gosh, you know it as well as I do, all the crap that's been promoted in the health industry and the diet world. And I mean, diet world alone, Adam, is $1 billion industry. Multi-billion-dollar industry, you know what I mean? And they con people and they go after people's weaknesses and it draws them in. But when you fail 3 and 4 and 5 times, like you literally think that you can't be successful, that you can just, that you just fail. So I think a lot of that from people comes from, with you over 17 years, and I have to look at it from me too. I've always been open-minded. I've always not followed. So, the main, like people said, oh, you can't put that much protein in your body. And I was just like this. And I always put 2 grams of protein in my body because I was a freaking athlete. And I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to do it my way. By the way, I'm healthier than you. So when you're healthier than me, you can come at me. You know what I mean? And that's the funny part is people argue all the time. And I'm like, listen, when you become healthier than me, then you can come argue with me. You know what I mean? But until then, I can't listen to you because you can't do it yourself. You can study and you can read and you can pass tests all you want. But if you can't put that shit into action and actually make it happen, you know what I mean? Whatever. So, but for you, what do you think got you to this point now? I mean, you had the results, you left, you had the results, you left. And then you finally said, you know what, I'm going to put it all in. Did you say that because of what you experienced those first 2 times that really kind of got you to that? Or what got you to finally commit? And I know, and that doesn't mean that you're doing a strict 11-day and you don't go out and have fun or whatever. And that's the coolest part. I'm so glad you shared that, because the average person doesn't understand that if they just live 80-20, and what I mean by that is 80% of the time you choose food that's going to fuel your body. I don't say good food or healthy food, like choose food that's going to fuel your body. And 20% of the time, I call that keep your sanity. Live life, have a slice of pizza, eat a freaking burger, drink a beer, have a glass of wine with friends. Like, stop the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, you going and doing that one time out of all the other good times is not going to make or break your results. People like seriously think that's going to make or break their results. It drives me nuts, right? But for you, what was it that kind of like clicked and made you decide that this is going to be the way for you now?
For one, it was becoming quite pain-free. It's not like I had a lot of ailments or anything. It's just all the aches and pains are pretty much gone, which I can't believe. And and I can instantly tell if I'm going to eat. I mean, like last 2 weeks ago, my brain just said, we're going to have ice cream. And then I went and had a ton of ice cream. And my body the next day hurt like nobody's. I mean, it is all from sugar. And I'm not here to preach against sugar, because I can do that on any time I want. But the things that are being left out on this ER shred is why people are feeling so good. I mean, it just is. I think another thing that got me to buy in is that in my personal training business that I have left after this COVID, I don't honestly care what you look like anymore. If you're my client, I want you to tell me that you feel like $1 million every day. And I need you to first try my system out and tell me if you don't feel like $1 million, because if you don't, then fine, do it your way. But in the meantime, I got something that works for a couple thousand people. I want you to try it out. And that's it. And it doesn't, and you don't have to be a personal trainer to do this. You just have to put it in your body. I mean, it's totally wild. I mean, it's one so far that I've put it in their body.
Do you feel, with all your years of experience, do you feel now that this is probably one of the easiest freaking health protocols that you've ever seen?
Bro, if my girlfriend says she's gonna keep doing it, it works.
Okay.
I'm just telling you. She was like, there's no way. And she did it for 11 days. And she's like, I'm just going to keep doing it. I feel great. And I was like, oh, yeah. And that's what I'm looking for. It's the feel great part. It's not the same. That's what I want to hear. Yeah, for sure. And I don't like, and now that it took me 21 days, I totally have a weird scale of like, well, maybe it doesn't work in 11 days for you, which I think it's awesome. You know, for myself, I don't, everyone else, I hope it works 5 days. Awesome.
Yeah. I think it just depends. I mean, your body was dealing with, I mean, you must have had chronic inflammation up the wazoo with the pain, the healing process, scar tissue and everything else. I mean, there's stuff. And then, again, obviously you're not silly. Like, if you go and drink, you know what I mean? If you go and do these things, like, you're causing the body more pain, but you're very aware with like, hey, look, that's my choice. And when you do that enough, right? Like, people always say, like, can I have this? And I'm like, afterwards, not can I do this during the shred? Because my answer is always going to be freaking no. But they're always like afterwards, like, well, can I try this? And I can't try. I go, listen, I'm not your freaking dad. Like, you can try anything you want. And the funny thing is that people go out and they try it and they say the same exact thing that you're saying now. They're like, I ate pizza. I felt like absolute crap. That's why I don't want to eat pizza anymore. Not because I can't eat pizza, but because I want to feel like I feel when I don't eat it. That right there, my friend, is fucking powerful. That is the empowerment movement of the ER shred. It's teaching people to fish. We're not giving people a fish like we do when you come in for a personal training session and we say, do this, do this, do this. Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, go. Okay, stop. Okay, go, right? We're not doing this as a nutritionist where it's like, here's your list of food. This is what you need to eat. I used to write meal plans for people. I would tell them what to eat. I would fucking tell them what to eat, dude. And because the people didn't know. And I was like, well, let me share with you what I do. You know what I mean? Not realizing that I was absolutely doing them a disservice and I was not serving that person because I never got them to understand what I understood by messing it up as much as I did, by trial and tribulation, by just keep going. And whatever you find that feels amazing for you, That's what you go with. But with the ER shred, I love it so much because it's really based off of a lot of different science, published peer-reviewed research. I've come to realize, and I don't know if you've come to realize this, but I truly believe in my heart that we have been absolutely lied to for the last 60 years, ever since we got told to take fat out of our life and we substituted grains. The billions of dollars that have been made in grains and packaging through government and big food, and all it's done is put people in a worse situation. All major diseases gone through the roof. People are dying. I forgot the number. I don't want to give a fake number, but it's a lot of people that die every single year based off of diet caused issues alone. You know what I mean? And it's just absolutely nuts. And it really is sugar and it really is carbohydrates. There's nothing essential to those two things. And we eat them in overwhelming amounts on a daily basis. They're everywhere. They're freaking everywhere. They bombard us. It's hard for me still, and I'm pretty disciplined and dedicated at them. It's hard for me to say no sometimes. And it's just nuts, right? But what you just said about wanting to feel amazing, that when I see that every day, that's the stuff that literally gives me the goosebumps in the morning, bro. When I wake up and find a new story about somebody that's like, oh yeah, I lost 20 pounds, but I got to ride my horse and I got off with no knee pain. I got to spend time with my granddaughter and oh my God, I still have energy. I got to, go to work and come home. Like I've been on the go, bro, since 4 a.m. this morning, nonstop. I literally walked in my door and came on this thing with you and I still got energy for fucking days, but besides that, I'm 41 and I feel amazing. I've never felt better in my life. And it's not that I wasn't healthy before, but the kinks and the pains and all that stuff that I chalked up to lifting for too many years, and you would play these games on yourself, it's all gone. It's all freaking gone. So call it, whatever you want to call it. That's the ER shred, right? Like that's what it is. I mean, it's just.
I also think something for people who have been in isogenics for a while, I was also so happy to hear that cleansing did not require you to eat all the things that are on that list, for isogenics. And I was like, I just beat down people's foreheads in isogenics saying, you are not fasting, you're not cleansing, you are eating and eating and eating. And I think this is where people are also winning on this system. If they will stick in that bone broth, man, it's the game changer, I think, for the whole deal. Like it also keeps people from getting cold like myself. So it's like, I thought these are all just fun little tidbits that have changed the whole dang thing. Yeah, which I think is.
Look at this, dude. Look at this. I don't know if you can see these comments when I post them up, but look at this. I just rode 13 miles on some badass single tracks right before this call, right before this Zoom. That's what we're talking about. Like, that's the energy. Listen, if you guys are not part of our free, FREE, free Facebook community, I don't know what you're doing. It's scrolling across the bottom, www.ershutters.com. Come join us. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to participate. Just come and look at the stories, at the testimonials, at the people like Adam. We just hit 22,000 people in that group. And we are growing, Adam, literally by the hundreds all the time, like weekly by the hundreds. Like you can't deny the epicness that this is, you know what I mean? Like it's really, from a personal training standpoint, I mean, it's what lights me up is this is what we wanted to do, right? Like, I don't know about you, but I've been doing this for this many years because this is what I've always wanted to do, but I could never get people to do the crazy shit that I did. I could never get them to make those sacrifices and spend half a Sunday meal prepping and eat your cold food out of a Tupperware container. Like, I could never get them to do that for a long period of time, or crack some raw eggs in a freaking blender. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't get them to do it. But people are coming back after 11 days and they're like, can I do it again right away? And I'm like, wait a minute. I just put you through an elimination reset shred protocol, and you're asking me if you can do it again right away? Do you take drugs? That's what I asked her.
But people get to feel this thing in 11 days.
Oh my God.
The credibility in 11 days is so rad. That's the rad part. Like, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
You guys
listen, let's end on this, bro. I feel like I could go on and on and on and on and talk to you about this, and we definitely have to have some more conversations. Like, I feel like we can definitely jive for sure. But talk to people, tell people about the community, because I think that the community is actually the best part of the ER shred. Anybody can come up with a diet. Anybody can come up with whatever. Now, this protocol has really been put together through multiple years from Sean, Crystal, myself, and others that, really a lot of years of messing up. So we know that that's how that came together. But what is it about this community that you find to be so different? What do you think it's actually doing for people? Because I think it's the piece that people are missing when they do anything else, that you kind of need this type of community to really get you to that next level. What do you think about the community?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, for one, you just said, what's it, 22,000?
22,000.
Since last November?
No. We built a little bit of that, and we just hit 22,000 now. So this was an older group that we had, and then we turned it into the ER shred, and a lot of people from that, it was all isogenics. You know what I mean? It was all built on that. And then we kind of converted it into this. And I don't know, this group was just dead, dormant. Like, we weren't getting a ton of action. The ER shred came along in October, and I got to go back. Maybe Heather can do it or Sean can do it for us and see what our growth has been from October to now. But it's definitely in the thousands for sure. Like, it's in the thousands. Like, I know that.
I mean, I think it's great. It's a great place for you to bring people just to see maybe what a community is and they don't know. I mean, that could be the first thing. The other thing is, if it's just, if you don't have any clue about health or your own health, I mean, this is a great place to be. I mean, there's people like you who have done, I mean, in our personal training businesses, bro, you are way more into the scientific realm than I am. I was way more into the ass kicking, yelling. I was into all the other weird stuff, not like I think I want to tell somebody else about this community. This isn't like a come count your calories community. This isn't anything to be like scared about. I think this is where you like, it is everyone just doing the same damn thing. It's like, it is a bunch of people coming in to, oh, well, no, try this, or no, try that. No, just do this. Simple as pie, and you will get some results. And we're all here to support you. And I think that's where it's really cool, where it's just wide freaking open. Yeah. Anyone can come in and say what they want. Yeah, I mean, and you're talking, we have people in their 80s. We have people that, part of our community, they are having their children, starting to do this, because I don't look at this as, again, this isn't a diet, right? This isn't that type of thing. Like, you can look at it however you want to, but I'm telling you, and I'm sure Adam will vouch for me too, from all of our years of experience, this is not just a diet that's just focusing on weight loss. That's what diet, focuses on. And there's a reason that diet has the word die in it, is because you're going to die on a diet. Number one, you're losing lean muscle mass. You're not attacking visceral body fat. They're absolutely shit. Every single one of them out there do the same exact thing. And this is the complete opposite, where we're actually sustaining lean muscle mass, attacking visceral body fat, crushing chronic inflammation, managing insulin inside the body, which is the most powerful hormone that we could possibly get control over inside the body. And the community, for me, is just a place where you can come, and we will be here with open arms. We will accept anybody and everybody. And that's the beautiful part about this community, you know what I mean, is that there's so much value. There's so much talent. There's so many superpowers. And the coolest part for me, Adam, is actually watching people step into that superpower, right? As a trainer, isn't it so awesome to get somebody to be able to do something that they first didn't believe that they could do? I mean, that's a pretty good feeling. You know what I mean? Like, I love that feeling. Maybe it's a little selfish. I don't know, but I thrive on that.
Getting somebody, like, it motivates me. I'll be honest, I'll say it. I don't care. It's a little selfish, but watching these people come in and just, the confidence level, the way they show up, people are posting pictures and they used to hide from pictures with their own kids. Bro, it is just something it's so much deeper than just, a little bit of no pain and looking a little bit better. Somebody posted, by the way, they wanted to see your abs. I don't know who it is because it just says Facebook user, but somebody posted that. Maybe you can do a little show for them later. I don't know what that's all about, but
I want to piggyback off what you said before we go.
Go for it.
People, the stepping into your own power, I think, comes from the very first letter in this ER shred, which is the elimination part, which leads you to figure out, man, when they're stepping into their own power, they're also figuring out what has been causing them. Maybe not everyone, but for some of these people, as you know, as your clients, finding what the culprit is not freaking easy. To figure out why people can't lose weight or why they hurt or why the hell they have so many damn problems. And this thing is so, I'm going to say simple one more time. It's so freaking simple for you to reach your goals, whatever they may be. And like you said, this does not have to be about weight loss. And man, get some answers about your health. Freak, we're here to help you. Just yeah.
And it's free. You have to buy your own food. You have to get your own stuff. But the value, can you think about all the stuff? Think about how much money you paid for your certification. Think about all the years and the money you've put in, the hours and hours of time. Can you even put a price tag on we have holistic nurses, we have coaches, we have trainers, we have holistic health coaches, we have, people that have been through, like, can you put a price tag, motivational speakers? We have every walk of life in here, right? Like, can you even put a price tag on the value that people are getting just for saying yes to joining the community? Never mind even doing the actual ER shred, but just getting that positive vibe from that community every single day. For me, it's life-changing. I don't know how you feel about that, but it's crazy to me.
It's here for the taking if you want it.
Yeah.
And I will.
If you want it.
Is what, $300? Is that what it costs?
That's it. $10 a day.
All right, you got the price down. Here we go.
$10 a day, dude. Come on. Well, $300 divided by 30 days. It's pretty, I can figure that shit out. That's one piece of math that I still remember from back in the day, bro. Listen, I might be a dumb jock, but I got something. That I can bring to the table. Dude, listen, guys, Adam, I appreciate you, dude. I really, really do. I thank you for showing up. I thank you for being humble. I thank you for being vulnerable. I'm glad that you told that real story. You showed up as a real person. I admire that. I can feel it from you, dude. You have this amazing energy, this good aura. I can't wait to connect. I can't wait till we can all get together and really meet each other and just kind of celebrate each other and all this positive shit that we've brought to the world today through the ER shred, when, man, we need so much of this. But I can't thank you enough for coming on and being flexible too with the time change. I appreciate you, dude. And I know from the comments, go back and look at them if you haven't seen them. There's a lot. And I hope you feel that love. So guys, let Adam know, how much, give him some love. Tell him how much you appreciate him, because it takes a lot to be able to come on to something like this and just let it all out. So thank you, dude. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I will check my schedule. And I think maybe I'm going to guess I'm going to a concert at Red Rocks.
Okay.
The last week of May, and then after the holiday, let's just, I don't know who I need to talk to, but I'll just set it up to have a meditation once a week that can be recorded, and it can just stay in the group and people can do it whenever they want.
You don't have to talk to anybody, bro. Like, we value that stuff. We want you to bring your superpower. If you need to record it and then post it, however you need to do it, I know for a fact that can help so many people. Heather is amazing at editing. She loves to chop me up and put me into bits and pieces because maybe I talk too much. I don't know. But she's great at that, and she'll chop you up if she has to, and we'll put it on our YouTube page. And please come be a part of the community. Give us that value, if you will. I know for me, I'm really looking forward to learning it. So I need to practice that more of myself, and I would appreciate it. So please bring it.
Okay.
All right, brother. All right, guys, have an awesome night. Please join us tomorrow, 8 p.m. for Shred Your Testimonial, www.ershred.com to find out more information. Thursday, we have our opportunity meeting. There is so much for everybody. Just freaking show up right on the bottom of the screen. Have an amazing night.